In some of you have quite some background noise, so if you could mute yourself, that would be great. Let me share my screen. So hopefully in a second you will see my screen. You do now? You muted yourself, so you cannot respond.
Yeah, no, looks great.
Good. So guys, welcome to this call and thanks a lot for joining OFC. Very happy that you can be part of that. This is the first Holland Pavilion at OFC. Now, we've not done this at OFC before. We have done pavilions at ECOG, Photonics West, Lisbon Photonics, but this is our first go at OFC, and I'm very happy that we already now have 13 companies that are joining, and that might even be 17 in total. So that's great for a first edition. That was not expecting so many companies to join when we started this conversation more than a year ago with OFC. So just a few basic rules. Everyone that has attended before knows these. So if you have any question, please raise your hand, and there's more than enough room for questions. And please do ask questions, because your question is probably also in someone else's mind. Something that's a bit different than what you're used to is that we have until now organized our events together with Photonics NL. And for OC, well, they will support us in the sense that they will reach out to their partners, asking them to join. But let's say in an operational sense, they are not involved. So we are your primary contacts with regards to the organization, where you normally would be in a lot of contact with Daniela for anything you need. In this case, Evgenia is your first point of contact, and we will take care of this. So that's a bit different than what you're used to, but other than that, hopefully your experience will be similar than in the other events you are joining, if you have been joining. Especially if you're new to this, feel free to ask any question, because sometimes I will go over it quite fast, because a lot of people are quite familiar with the way we set up our pavilions and what we have to offer. So if you're new to this, feel free to raise your hand and ask any question you'd like to ask. Our agenda for today, we will go over all the practical information, of course, what we have to offer with regards to the booth and the back wall, practicals with regards to shipment, badges, and we'll talk with you about all the activities there are or that we might be able to organize. Because this is a new event, not everything is as clear as, for example, at Photonics West. So in some cases, we will just have a discussion with you and, okay, what are the options? And based on your input, we can make decisions on how to organize things leading up to the event in, end of March, early April. So a few facts. Well, the event starts, at least if you're talking about the exhibition, on the 1st of April and runs for 3 days. It's held at Moscone Center this year for the first time and also the last time. So last year it was in San Diego. It moved to San Francisco this year, and next year it will move to Los Angeles, just so you know. And the event is growing. I've spoken to the organizers just a couple of days ago. So they see more exhibitors and more delegates coming in the last few years. And they expect to grow again when they move to LA next year, which probably is no surprise with everything that's happening around data, telecom, and AI. So you probably are aware of the audience, and there's quite an elaborate program. Won't dive into that in this call, but feel free to have a look on the website. This PowerPoint with the links will be shared with you. So feel free to have a look at that. There are many interesting programs that could be relevant for you. The venue is the Moscone Center. So if you've been to Photonics West, you know sort of the setup of that location. I will show you the floor plan in just a second. And these are the current partners of the pavilion. We are still, well, there's still not a final go from CITC and TNO, but we're in a conversation. Christian is here also as well, joining already. And we still have 2 bronze booths available. So there might be new companies that could join in the next, let's say, few months leading up to the event. If you have any suggestions for companies that you think are missing and are relevant for this event, would be great if you mention these companies in the chat, because we would love to follow them up and reach out to them to see if they would like to join. So I have a few slides showing you the design of the pavilion. This is a mock-up, so this sort of indicates already what it's going to look like, but we've used all the visuals that we've gotten from other events, but it just gives you quite a good idea on what to expect. And I will show you where we are exactly in the hall. So this is sort of the front of our pavilion, and this is, let's say, the opposite side. There's an aisle running in the middle, as you can see. And on the inside, let's say we have our bronze partners here facing each other. There's a bar here, and we have a general networking area just in front of that. As you can see here, we have created a meeting room. More about that later on. And there's also a small storage, and also more about that later on. But at least you already have quite a good idea on what it's going to look like. We will use exactly the same frames we have been using at Photonics West. So the same setup you are familiar with already. So this is the whole floor plan of OFC. We are in the North Hall, as it's called. And if you have been at Photonics West, then here is where the Holland Pavilion for Photonics West is. And our position for OC is just below that. This is going to be quite a busy aisle, and there's an expo theater here. So we expect quite a lot of traffic, and from what we, let's say, also understand from OC and people that know this floor plan, I think we were able to get quite a good position, especially for a first timer at OFC. So we're quite happy with that. So zoomed in a bit, and this is what our setup is going to be like, and these are also the positions you will have on our floor plan. At the time, for example, Astrape's signed in, we had a bit of a different setup. So Astrape's stand was still on the inside, but now we were able to upgrade our booth. So that means Astrape and Microline are on the outside of the pavilion, which I think is a nice extra. Maybe it's good to give some time for questions if there are any. You can also interrupt me if you want to, but I'm going over this quite quickly. So if there are any questions, please, guys.
Yes, will the lights in the background be as bright as they were at ECOC? Because I think they were a bit overpowering. The people who were standing in front of it seemed a bit like too much like silhouettes.
Okay, that's an interesting one. I can ask if that's adjustable. I'm not sure. But I can certainly ask.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else that wants to ask a question? Then I'll just continue. So any practical information here? So the exposition days are Tuesday to Thursdays, starting daily at 10 and finishing either at 5 or at 4 on the last final day. You will get access to the venue before 10 o'clock, but from 10 o'clock onwards, regular visitors can come to the exhibition. So some practical things about the pavilion. We have a bar with unlimited coffee, tea, and water, which you can use for yourselves, for your guests. Feel free to do that. If you want to bring any peppermints or stroopwafels and have them available at the pavilion, feel free to do that. There is a storage, but that storage is there especially for your backpack, your jacket, things like that. You could store demo materials there overnight, but be aware this is not a secure thing. So it's easy to break in and things could get stolen. So anything of real value I would not keep there, and at least it's there at your own risk. If you're planning to ship stuff and it has big boxes, then these boxes will be brought to the pavilion during build-up, and these boxes have to go back to storage again during the exhibition. They won't be stored in the storage room, and they will be brought back to the booth during breakdown time. So if you have, let's say, demo materials that come in big boxes or anything else, then we will remove those big boxes, and they will be brought back to the pavilion at the end of the exhibition. The storage room is just too small to store these bigger items. So what is important to be aware of is that the furniture, that is a basis of furniture in every package, and that's available for you. And we will ask you for a back wall design and provide that for you as well. It is not possible to bring any additional roll-up banners. So we will take care of your branding and your back wall, but any additional roll-up banners are not an option, I'm afraid. As you can see, we have a meeting room. If we would have interest from more partners, that meeting room could still potentially be a booth, but I don't think that's very likely. So there is a meeting room, and that's available to rent per hour, and it costs 400 euros. We will make an environment where you can register for that meeting room, and you can just block the hours you need, and after the event we will invoice you those hours you used it. You can also rent a meeting room at OFC, and that costs $10,000 for 3 whole days. I think you can even rent them per day, then it's $3,300 or something like that. But just be aware, you need to rent it for a full day, and it's quite costly. So if you only need a meeting room for 1 or 2 hours, then it's more practical to use this one because it's just much cheaper. Yeah, and it's of course available during opening hours of the exhibition. Any questions on the meeting room? No.
Is it just one? I suppose you will have a registration link somewhere.
Yeah, we will create a registration environment. Not 100% sure what the most practical way is to do that, but probably we will have an overview of what's still available and some link to register and claim a certain time slot. I think that's the most practical way to go about it, but we will do that, let's say, shorter before the event.
Yeah. How many people do you fit in the meeting room comfortably?
4.
4, okay. And is it soundproof?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Good. So after this call, before the end of this week, we will send in all your registration information to OFC, which means that probably early January, you will receive an email from OFC, and that has a link to your personal environment where you can upload your logo, your personal profile. You can also add your booth staff. You can also claim your conference pass there. There's 1 conference pass per exhibitor available. So know that this is something you will receive directly from the OFC organization, and we would certainly recommend you to fill that out as soon as possible, because then you can be found in the exhibition directory, and all the relevant information is there, a link to your own website, things like that. So certainly complete that rather sooner than later. We have the option for additional furniture. There is standard furniture in your package. So depending on the size of your package or the package you've chosen, you'll have a different setup. And there's something we want to discuss with especially the bronze partners, because we're in a bit of a doubt. And I think there are two ways to go about it. And depending on your feedback, we can offer you the thing that fits you best. So what we currently offer you is a shared height table. That's similar to what we do with Photonics West. So two bronze partners share one table and they each get a bar stool. And why is it not a table per booth? Well, then it's just you're overcrowding. It has just too less space to give everyone their own high table. In practice, that doesn't work. We tried an alternative at ECOC, giving you a cabinet and a bar stool. And the advantage of this cabinet is that it is automatically already a demo table. So if you have anything to demo, then you can put it on here, which is a practical solution. The challenge for organizing anything in the US is that everything is crazy expensive. So a cabinet like this is $600-700. It's crazy expensive. There is, however, an alternative. This is sort of a draped table. And our question actually to all the bronze partners is, what would you prefer? Would you prefer the setup as displayed here on the left, which also means you have a full visual from top to bottom? Or would you prefer a setup where you get a draped table instead of this cabinet? This draped table doesn't look as good, but at least it's affordable. And then you have half of the wall to display your own branding, but it automatically gives you the option to put your demo stuff or brochures or things like that on there. So maybe let's make a small round, starting with Stephen.
Yes, okay, Stijn. I must say the cabinet, although very expensive, has my preference.
Mm-hmm.
I think a rectangular table with a tablecloth looks not very representative.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my first option. And the second option would be the standing tables, like a picture on the left.
Yeah. So the drape table is something we can offer as an alternative to the high tables. The cabinets, these are so costly, and we cannot offer them within the package you've chosen. If you all agree and you're willing to pay extra, then yes, of course, we can take care of those cabinets.
No, I think it only makes sense if everybody uses it.
Yeah. That's also the solution we're looking for.
If I would use a table with a tablecloth, I would prefer to put my own tablecloth on it, not a black one. But
yeah.
I have one, but I can understand that not everybody has a tablecloth, although I would recommend it to anybody because it's quite useful.
Yeah, and we can also still, so if you really think that's the setup with a table is more suitable than a shared high table, we can also look between now and the event for a better solution, because we agree that this is not the perfect way of
but if you would use if you would use a whole, let's say, a wall of these rectangular tables, then that creates a kind of a bar, and you have a big distance between you and the visitors. And with these round tables, you can easily walk around it, and there's not much I like it. You create a distance between the visitors and you, and I don't think that's
but the proposal would be, Stephen, is to put them against
all right,
your back wall.
That's replacement of the cabinet.
You're not behind it. It would be a similar setup, but then not with a cabinet, but with a draped table.
Yeah.
Let's check. Ali,
let's see. But anyway, a black cloth, I think, would not work. But if you can get white, then that's already much better.
Yeah.
Totally agreeing with Stephen. As European, we cringe at the draped tables in the US. It will totally kill your booth, in my opinion. It's nice and tidy now, so I would avoid it by all means. If I have to choose, I would be willing to pay the 400 for the cabinet, which looks nice because we have like a compact demo that we want to use.
Yeah, but 700, huh?
Was it? Oh, it's not 400.
No, it's near 700.
Okay, well, okay, to be discussed. But as an alternative for drape table, what I've done in the past, Stephen, you were suggesting tablecloths, and then again, we will all have a somewhat different tablecloth. So my suggestion would be, and I don't know what's it called, but it's like a print on a material that they use it for the for trucks. How do you call it? Een soort zeildoek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it comes on rolls, and then you have a nice, clean thing. It will probably match with the design that you've done in the top part, and that's easy to mount. It looks good, and you just stick it on, and then it will be consistent for every other of the bronze partners. Huh?
Yeah. But what I'm also hearing is that you would like to demo something, huh? You prefer to have a table to put a demo on. Is that the same case for you, Stephen? I know from experience that Chilas generally wants to demo something.
Yeah, we also want to demo something, but now I'm wondering, because we already sent the back walls that I think are more of the size of the left picture. If we put any sort of draped table, won't it cover a big part of the back wall?
It will. So you send in a design for Photonics West recently.
Yeah. I think everybody had to.
Yeah, we've not asked you for a design for OC yet. We do still have your design of ECOG.
Okay.
So we can reuse your design from ECOG, which is a similar setup.
Or we can make another one. Okay.
Yeah, sure. You can also make another one.
That would work out. Is it not possible to get a table that is not like draped, just like kind of a normal table, but without the...
Yeah, well, the
maybe
thing
that
is,
would be better.
There's a lot of things possible. Huh? So what this table looks like is like this. So it's a hideous table. And I agree that draping it is also hideous. But from let me check with Jörn. He just joined. Jörn, would you like to demo something? Would a table, a sort of a demo table, would be necessary for you, or would that be valuable for you?
No, we don't need a demo table.
Okay. Yeah. So let me. What other bronze partners are part of the school that like to chip in? Is there anyone that wants to share their opinion?
That was it from bronze.
Okay, so I would like then let me make a proposal, and hopefully you can.
Olivia, I'm sorry. I think Ward, maybe you would want to chip in. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just discussing with Steve because he was actually at ECOG.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to form an opinion yet. Most likely it's either is fine, depending on what the majority decides.
Yeah. Then I'd like to make a proposal.
I would have another proposal. I've seen like the naked table. Even though it's ugly, that's, I think, could be okay as long as we know the measurements, so we can prepare ourselves, like maybe order. We already have like a tablecloth, but then everybody that wants a table can just, we bring our own cloth that fits the dimensions, and then it's okay, right? Maybe that's also another option. Or if we are, let's say, 5 people and just 5 companies and 2 want to demo and the other 3 don't, and they don't mind that we have something on that table, then we can try to like find a common agreement between us. Okay, can I have my half of the table can be my demo? This, I mean the height tables that we've seen. That could also be an option.
Yeah, I think we and Chilas can easily share a table, right? And then I could put some flyers there.
Yeah. That would be nice. I think that's a good combination.
I could also fit my demo on a round table, by the way. But then the problem is always with what do you do with the power cords and
my proposal would be is that hearing your feedback, thanks a lot for that. Give this a bit more thought and come up with a final proposal. and try to come up with a proposal that looks good and is also affordable. So we can offer this table draped or undraped within the same package price, but maybe we can find a workaround to find something together with a boot builder that's either ask for a small extra contribution or none at all. Let us just put some time in this to create the best possible offer for you, and then as soon as we have that information, we will share it with you. Is that something that could work?
Yep. Perfect.
Guys?
Yeah, maybe as an alternative, every bronze company could have like a small demo pillar instead of a table. So it's easier to walk around it, and it doesn't take as much space, and it will provide a small surface on which to demo something or put flyers.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. The Freeman exhibition store, the company that supplies our furniture, does not have a demo pillar. We have been searching for it, but we cannot find a demo pillar, because otherwise that would have been an interesting alternative. But we'll get back to you, and hopefully with a proposal that looks good and is affordable for everyone. Yeah. So
okay, thank you.
Continuing with extra furniture, there's limitations to what Freeman can offer. That's in Europe we have much more opportunities to give you more attractive and more affordable furniture. In the US, that's not the case, I'm afraid. A recommendation to all of you is not overcrowd your booth. So think of the space you have and what could be added to that. So having a round high table and, for example, a showcase pillar and extra bar stools, that's just a bit too much. So really think through what you need. This is what we can offer you. So if you want your high table with 2 extra chairs, feel free to select that. If you want a folder rack, well, it's all available here. But please be aware not to overcrowd your booth. You also want to be able to have a conversation with the ones visiting your booth. Similar to Photonics West and ECOC, we can offer you a TV, to integrate a TV in your back wall. That's also simply something you can offer in the form we will make available for you. But keep in mind that if you create a design, then you design around your TV. Let me think what is important to tell you. Well, the deadline for ordering all this stuff is the 14th of February. So that's shortly after Photonics West. And ideally you'll finalize that before the end of January, but at least do that before the 14th of February. Shipment. So for those who went to Photonics West, they know that we use FairX for our shipment, and that shipment can go from Photonics West to OFC and then back to the Netherlands. So if you're also participating in Photonics West, you already received a form from FairX where you can order your shipment to Photonics West. That will also then move to OFC and then come back. If you are not joining Photonics West, or you want to separately send something to OFC, that's also possible. We will provide a FairX form to fill out, and then at some point FairX will pick up your stuff you want to ship there. It will be available at the booth, and they will ship it back again. Once you fill out the form, you will communicate directly with FairX. So they will inform you on when the pickup date is. They will send you an invoice for the costs that are made. Any questions on the shipment? No? Then here we have all the different specifics for your back wall design. I will not go into that in this call, but you can see a platinum booth, which is 6 meters by 248 centimeters, almost 2.50 meters high. And this is what you need to be aware of. The print area is that's what you're making the design for. We will take care of the orange kader. I don't know what the English word is. If you have any questions or troubles designing your back wall, then feel free to contact Evgenia. This is what we will send to you after this call, and it has the specifics for every boot size. If you have a platinum or a gold booth, your TV will be positioned in the corner. And if you have a silver or a bronze back wall or package, then the TV will be positioned centrally. If you want a TV, yeah. So that's just an option for you to decide. There are some tips to make your design. Any questions about the boot setup, the furniture, guys?
Yeah, I have a question about the TV placement, because it appears to be only in the top left corner, or it can be in the top right corner as well. Because I think for Photonics West, it was completely free to position anywhere on the frame.
So you can in the top right or the top left, you can position it. That's the two options we can offer.
Okay, and the dimensions separating it from the edge are now specified, but I don't believe they were specified for Photonics West. So is this a change, or are we still going to get a recall of our design for Photonics West because we would need these dimensions?
Maybe Evgenia can chip in.
I think it was specified for Photonics West.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I must have missed it then.
Let me check it with you separately. We can, after the call, connect.
But thanks for answering my question.
No problem.
Any other questions on booth or furniture, all the practical stuff before we go over to activities?
Activities!
No. Activities!
The water park.
We're going to Disneyland. No. So in terms of activities, we mainly have questions for you. We don't have a fixed agenda yet. We want to discuss with you what you're interested in. That what this call is for. And between now and the second town hall, we will make sure there's actually a clear clarity on what we will do based on your input and your wishes. So with most events, we try to organize an informal dinner before the start of the event, because that's just a nice way for all of us to get to see each other before the event starts. And my question to you is, would you be interested in having such a dinner? And would you do you expect that you and your colleagues will be joining that? I would say raise your hand if you're interested in joining. Yeah. Jorn, you're not joining? Jorn is also joining. Good. So I think almost everyone or everyone is interested in joining. So that's great. So it's challenging to arrange a restaurant, but we will try to find something that is affordable, and that's the major challenge. But it's clear that you're interested, and we'll try to find something that is, well, hopefully affordable and available for us. Then what we are used to with other events, organizing a networking event, a dinner, a networking drinks, and we could combine that with a pitching sessions. If you already get an audience for your networking drinks, then hopefully that audience comes early and is able to join in on the pitches. Let me first ask you, are you interested? So you could lower your hands again. If you are interested in doing a pitching session in combination with a networking drinks. Yeah, well, that's also quite a few, so that's a good reason to facilitate that. Thanks a lot. When it comes to those networking drinks, they are not in the scope of the budget, which means similar to Photonics West, we will ask you to contribute to that, and that's asking for your approval for additional cost. We have a proposal for that, and depending on, let's say, this is the size of your participation or the package you take, our proposal is to have additional cost of 200 euros for a bronze partner and so 400 for a silver partner and so on and so on. If we would have a sold out booth, that would mean a budget of 6,000, which is enough for a networking drinks. If we're sold out, we're not sure. For Delta is more than willing to take the risk for that. So if we won't have a sold out booth, then we can still have a pavilion. A networking drinks. And the question to you is, are you okay with these additional costs? Please raise your hand if that's the case. So I think everyone raised their hand. Is there anyone that has an objection? Because that's perfectly possible. No objections?
All noted.
Okay, great. Then we will take care of that. We will decide if Wednesday is the perfect day for that. We will check in with other pavilions and see what kind of other activities there are. And most likely the ideal day is Wednesday, but it could also be the Tuesday.
Quick thing,
then-
Stijn.
Sorry?
For the pitches, if the location of the pavilion is going to be close to the expo theater, I expect there will be quite a bit of noise.
Mhm.
So just something to keep in mind in terms of if we want to do another PA system of some sort.
Yeah.
Maybe silent
Yeah.
disco could also work. I have seen that before as well. Headphones.
Yeah, we'll dive into that and see what what solution we can offer. Some of them are quite expensive, so we'll look into a solution that works, but is also affordable. But thanks, that's a good suggestion. So now it's time for Jorn to pitch in, because he has some plans for activities surrounding OFC.
He's our Chief Activities Officer.
Exactly.
Or maybe check
Chief
before
Entertainment.
we start, Steven, you still got your hands raised. Do you maybe have a question?
Oh, sorry. No.
No, okay, no problem. But just checking.
Force of habit.
Jorn?
Okay, yeah, sure. So there's a couple of things that I'm looking to organize during the week of OFC. Dates are not yet confirmed. Those depend on third parties that I'm discussing with. Let's start with the first one. It's the investors meeting that we are organizing. This is going to happen after the show hours, so in the evening. We're still looking into location. The consulate has offered to host it there. That's of course the most attractive on the cost perspective, and it's also a beautiful location, as some of you already know. The concept here is one person per company, preferably a CEO or something similar that can attend, and we will make sure that the room will be filled with relevant investors. So these are deep pocket VCs, angel investors, corporate investors that have a track record into the, let's say, deep tech domain, investing in deep tech startups. This is for you an opportunity to meet these people if you are raising or looking to raise money in the US in the future. Of course, please, if you do have these ambitions, also reach out to me directly to see how I can help with that. So also what it says here, the event is a collaboration with Photon Ventures, so AWIT will also be there. I'm thinking right now about a concept of a short opening by Awit, then a couple of pitches, and then after we'll have a networking reception with some drinks and food. So yeah, again, the date is not confirmed yet, but it will be in one of the evenings. We're waiting for the consulate to let us know on the availability of the location. So that is about the investors dinner. I will be able to share with you also a list of the investors that will be joining, hopefully next month. I'm working on that. Then the other item on the slide is the workshops. So here we have been talking to Ashkan Sayedi from NVIDIA. He asked us to if we could help get our startups to come to NVIDIA for an afternoon session where he wanted to go more in depth on what NVIDIA is looking for, and also give the opportunity to the companies or to the organizations to present they're working on. And here the idea was to put outside of you attend these presentations of NVIDIA or Samsung. You hear about, okay, this is what we're working on, this is what we're looking for. But here, by giving the opportunity to go a bit more into depth and talking a bit more about the distant future, there might be new points of interest where we can collaborate on together. So that's for NVIDIA and Samsung. So I had a meeting last week at Samsung Semicon. They have a new head of strategy, and also they were looking to host a similar session. Here the goal is that by 2027, Samsung has announced, right, they want to be a serious player in silicon photonics. Everything is still quite open, and therefore they're looking into the ecosystem. They're very interested in the capabilities that we have within the photon data ecosystem. So they would like to do some sort of a more introductory setup where we present about to them on what we're able to do, and they will put all the right people together from the Samsung Semicon Innovation Center, but also from their catalysts. So their venture group will be there as well. And so talking about R&D, but also on a startup perspective, there could be an investment let's say topic involved as well. So those are two workshops that we're organizing, preferably outside of the exhibition, because I assume you guys will be busy during those days. So I think Friday is off. So we're looking to do this on the Friday. So in the morning at Samsung, in the afternoon at NVIDIA. If you have any, requests, if you have any feedback, suggestions, please let me know. I will be talking to them again in the next
You're gone. So keep in mind, people, that if you want to join this, then you need to also extend your stay in San Francisco for an extra day. Yeah? So if your flight back should not be on Friday already, but on Saturday, if you want to join these workshops. Jorn, you were gone for a second. Your connection failed.
Oh. Okay, I'm back. I see Steven raised his hand. You have a question, Steven?
Yeah, I have a question on the dinner. I mean, I think that says maybe a couple of pitches. I think the full purpose of this is to give pitches. So I would say all companies that join should give a pitch.
Yeah,
because that would be the only reason to join there.
Can only be short.
To give a pitch. Second is, I wonder whether a dinner is the best informal setting, because you sit on the table, you have your dinner, and you happen to sit next to somebody that you can have a nice conversation with, but it's not good to meet a lot of people. So, it's either, I would say, after dinner, then you have something, or before it, or I don't know what.
Can you hear me,
dinners, in my experience, dinners are not the best network events. It's good to go into deep conversation and connect to somebody, but if you want to interact shortly with a lot of VCs, then that's not the best platform, I think.
Can you hear me, Steven?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it's not going to be a seated dinner. It's going to be a walking dinner with standing tables. Everyone is free to mingle and to discuss. So that's one. With regards to the pitches, it is definitely my ambition to have everyone pitch, but then it should be short, because otherwise, the entire evening will be talking, and I would like to have networking as well, right? So you need to be able to interact with the investors. So I would then suggest have everyone do a 5-minute pitch or something like that, or just an elevator pitch, and then we will be able to facilitate that for everyone.
Okay. Yeah. I was triggered by the word maybe. So
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think pitches should be part of it. Just need to see how much time, depending on how much interest there is from the companies, right? So then if there's going to be 17 companies, 17 pitches, or if you do 17 times 5, that's already going to be very difficult.
Yeah. But I think more details on that shorter before the event. There's going to be a second town hall, and by then this should be all fully clear, and we can inform you on how this is going to work. We will offer a registration form for you to enable to register for these events. So be aware, both events are you're only able to attend with one person per company, and for the investment dinner, it's important that preferably is a C-level person. Francesco, did you have a question? You raised your hand and then took it down again.
It's similar to Steven, because we did the dinner with NVIDIA, and it was seated, and we had 5 minutes per company, and in the end it was very non-interactive, and it was just barely enough time for the pitches. So I wanted to say the same. Please be careful the format. It is not similar to what we did last time with NVIDIA. It was not very efficient.
Good. Thanks. I think the walk-in dinner setting will certainly help prevent that from happening again. So any questions on these activities that Jorn is organizing?
I think it's a great initiative. Excellent. Yeah.
Good, thank you. So there are many other side activities and events during OC. You're probably aware of that, but feel free to dive into that. This is just a couple that Evgenia put on this slide, but create your program in advance and see which of these events are interesting and relevant for you. If you have been at any of our other Holland pavilions, we will create a WhatsApp group again. That's the most efficient way to communicate with you. That's mostly going to be used just before the final days before the event and during the event. So once we're near to the event, we will share with you a link to that WhatsApp group, and you and your colleagues can join that. It's not available yet because at this point it's not efficient to communicate over WhatsApp, but nearer to the event, we will make that available for you. Then a couple of deadlines, and the most important ones are all on the 14th of February. So as I already mentioned, shortly after Photonics West, and make sure that you finalize everything by then. And preferably earlier. If you can finalize this before the end of January, even better. So that was it from our side. And maybe this is a good chance to ask all of you if you still have any remaining questions. Iona?
Hi. My question is about the back wall for bronze packages. I guess right now we have the big version, right? But then if we decide to go with one of the table that is draped in the end, then we need to go with a smaller design, right? And some of us might not want to use the one from ECOC because that's old. So I guess we will have the response with the tables or the options that we want. Like maybe a form to vote what we want to do by January, or so this way we know how big our back wall has to be and we start preparing it, right?
Yeah. So we will try to come up with a new proposal for bronze as soon as possible. And that will also tell us if the design needs to be the full back wall or similar to ECOC. So as soon as we have that offer, we will also give you the specifications for your back wall design. And we'll try to do that as early as possible in January.
Yeah, maybe there would be an idea to send over a form and to have the two options. Or I think the two options would be sharing or having the table unwrapped or wrapped, and then people can vote and we see what is what we want, and then based on that, we take a decision. I think maybe that's a way to do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, let us think about what the best way is to come to a result. And thanks for the suggestion. Depending on what proposal we have, we will either just say, okay, this is what we offer for all of you, or this is something we still want your opinion or decision on. But let us first to talk to our supplier and think of what is the best offer we can get for you, and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible in early January. Okay. Anyone else that has a question? No other questions?
Well, I have another request.
Yes,
I
Steve?
also mentioned that Photonics West, maybe you can organize lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, indeed you've asked that. We have thought about how to arrange that.
Yeah.
We've not come up with the right solution yet.
Okay.
But for Photonics West as well as for OFC, we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Always
should be a
has.
way, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the best way is to support in that. Any other questions? Evgenia, is there something I forgot you want to?
No. The only
chip
thing
in
on my
on?
mind is Photonics West, the side event of Jorn. Maybe you could mention to those who joined Photonics West how important and interesting it would be for them to join your event. Or we just send another email. That's all I'm
sure, of course. I
thinking
think
of.
we're getting already a lot of registrations. I think we published something about it yesterday also on LinkedIn. You can go to our website where you will see the lineup of speakers. We also just there's two companies that are not yet on the page but have confirmed they will be speaking. That's AR Labs and Light Matter. So those will be in there as well. It's a day or an afternoon, I have to say, where we will go to Sunnyvale and organize an event to bring together American potential customers and our ecosystem companies, so that they can exchange on the latest developments and explore new types of collaboration. We have 3 sessions, one on Datacom AI, one on advanced packaging, and one on emerging applications. I think there's a great lineup of speakers, and there's a good mix between, let's say, American companies on stage and Dutch. The reason why we try to put as many American companies on stage is, one, because it will help you to get up to speed on the latest developments with those companies, but also to attract more other American companies to come and join the event as a visitor. So this is it looks like it's working because we're getting a lot of registrations. We said 200 people max. It's possible that maybe we'll go a bit over. But please, feel free to register. Also, feel free to forward the invitation to your customers or to people you would like to have there as well. I think in the communication that Evgenia sent out a couple of weeks ago, we also give the possibility to show something there as if you're exhibiting at Photonics West, you'll have the possibility to have a table also at this event where you can put a demo or you can put something else. Also, a screen, I think, is included. That's all free of charge. So just if you want to do that, let us know in advance so we can coordinate that with the location. In terms of transportation, Sunnyvale, of course, is not San Francisco, so it's like an hour drive. We're arranging buses from Moscone and back. So also, if you're bringing something to show as a demo or something, you can go back with the bus after it will drop you off in front of Moscone, so you can put it back on your stand for Tuesday, because that's when the exhibition opens. I think that's in a nutshell. So if you're please, share the invitation with companies you want to have there, and make sure you're registered yourself as well, because at some point we will close the registrations if we have the maximum number of people there. There will be plenty of networking opportunities. So we'll have a lunch first at walk-in. It's just going to be a light lunch. Then we'll have a coffee break with some snacks, and we'll have then the final networking reception at the end. That will be sponsored by the Dutch Consulate. So plenty of room to mingle and to make new connections.
Yeah. So something those who are joining Photonics Rescue, in the earlier town hall, we shared that we were organizing an informal dinner again on that Monday. But now that the program of Jorn is becoming more clear and his networking drinks also have sort of a walking dinner setup, we decided not to organize a informal dinner on that Monday again, because it would interfere with the informal dinner, and then we would have half of the people still in Sunnyvale and the other half for the informal dinner. So what we decided is that everyone is able to go to Sunnyvale if they want to, and we will organize a informal networking drinks on Monday evening instead. So when you come back from Sunnyvale, or if you have been setting up your booth at Photonics West in the evening, there's still an option to network or see each other in an informal setting. But in this case, it's not a dinner, but a drinks. So just so you are aware, we will inform everyone attending from Photonics West, of course, but you're the first to know now. Okay, any final questions? I'm already over the time that we requested from you.
1 minute.
Yevgenia, is there a date for the second town hall already? Is that already fixed in the calendars?
Nope, we will do it.
Yeah, there will be a second town hall closer to the event. I assume that's going to be early February after Photonics West. So we'll schedule that with you. Make sure you get the invitation, and by then everything should be more clear, and we will update you on the latest regarding OFC. Thanks a lot for joining, and thanks again for joining OFC. Great to have you on board.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye-bye.